Sauerkraut is fermented. It contains living cultures, but it's also high in sodium. So how does Wildbrine Sauerkraut actually rank per calorie?
What about red meat?
What about fruit?
What about fat?
What about carbs?
Run it through the lab. Welcome to the Nutragrammatron Lab. In this lab, we evaluate the nutrient composition of foods using a standardized 100-calorie framework. We are not medical doctors, and this content is not medical advice. Our focus is strictly on measurable nutrient density, ingredient quality, and metabolic characteristics of the food itself. The Nutragrammatron does not classify foods as good or bad. It evaluates what is present per calorie using consistent, transparent criteria. Some foods can be consumed regularly in meaningful amounts without accumulating nutritional strain over time. Others are better understood as situational, appropriate in certain contexts, but not necessarily as staples. Our objective is clarity, structured evaluation, consistency. Today's subject is Wildbrine Sauerkraut. Per 100 calories, this subject provides approximately 0 grams protein, 6.7 grams carbohydrates, 0 grams fat, 3.33 grams of fiber, and 833 milligrams of sodium. The macro index evaluates protein density and the quality of carbohydrates and fats per 100 calories. Whole food carbohydrates are neutral. Refined sugars and refined flours trigger deductions. Fat quality is evaluated using cardiovascular outcome data. Industrial trans fats receive the strongest penalty. Highly processed fats may receive a deduction. Saturated fat density may receive a moderate deduction relative to unsaturated sources. The macrogram index score for this subject is 14 out of 20. The micro index evaluates total vitamin and mineral return per calorie. We assess essential vitamins including A, C, D, E, K, and the B complex, along with minerals such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, zinc, selenium, phosphorus, and manganese. Higher percentages of daily value per 100 calories earn more points. Ultra-processed fortification may receive a processing deduction. The microgram index score for this subject is 8 out of 20. The fiber index measures grams of fiber per 100 calories and fiber quality. Soluble and fermentable fibers with documented metabolic effects may increase the score. Extremely low fiber density reduces the score. Synthetic or isolated fiber additives may trigger a deduction. The fibro index score for this subject is 16 out of 20. The sodium index evaluates sodium concentration per 100 calories. Naturally low sodium whole foods score higher. As sodium density increases, points are deducted. When relevant, potassium balance is considered, as higher potassium relative to sodium is associated with improved cardiovascular outcomes. The sodiogram index score for this subject is 6 out of 20. The metabolic index evaluates glycemic load, degree of processing, and expected blood sugar response. Whole, intact foods with moderate glucose response score higher than refined carbohydrates or added sugars. Added sugars trigger an additional deduction due to glycemic load without corresponding nutrient density. Foods associated with rapid absorption or low satiety relative to calories may lose points. The glycogram index score for this subject is 20 out of 20. Now that we've calculated the 5 sub-indices, we can reveal the Nutragrammatron score. The Nutragrammatron score for Wildbrine Sauerkraut is 64. Okay, let's look at some of the key nutrients that got us to this point. These nutrients contribute to the overall micro and macronutrient density per calorie and help explain the final score. Protein with 0 grams, which limits macro balance. Micronutrient contribution is minimal under labeled values. Limiting the micronutrient density. Fiber performs strongly at 3.33 grams per 100 grams, materially supporting fiber efficiency. However, sodium concentration at 833 milligrams per 100 grams significantly suppresses the sodium/processing exposure. Overall, the final tier reflects strong fiber and glycemic performance, offset by sodium concentration and limited microdensity. It should be known that this is a probiotic food. Because this food contains live cultures, it may also provide probiotic organisms. Some research suggests certain strands can support digestive and immune function, though effects depend heavily on strain type, dose, and viability at the time of consumption. However, that creates a challenge for a deterministic scoring system. Probiotic content varies by brand, storage conditions, and time, and is rarely standardized in a way that allows consistent ranking. You can't rank what you can't standardize. The Nutragrammatron Lab is a nutrient density ranking system. This score reflects measurable macro and micronutrient return per calorie using consistent and transparent criteria. Fermentation may offer additional functional properties, but those fall outside the structured nutrient density framework used here. This has been the Nutragrammatron Lab. Structured evaluation, transparent criteria, consistent analysis. Classification complete.